Hey, what's up? Aaron here. Hope you're doing well. If you're watching this video right now, you might be checking out Dolly app, all right? And you're wondering, can you make extra money this way? What do you actually have to do? Is it worth your time? How do they pay out? All these great questions. And should you really be, working for Dolly to be part of the gig economy and make more money as a side hustle, right? Well, I'm going to answer those questions for you. And at any time, if you would like to find out my favorite way to get to 5 to 10,000 US dollars per month, 100% from home, you don't have to, go to a physical office or anything like that. Just go ahead and click the link below and I'll send you that training directly to your email for free. All right. Now let's take a look at Dolly. And the cool thing about the world that we live in right now is there are lots of different ways to make money. You don't necessarily have to work a full-time job in a normal office anymore, right? We live in the gig economy. That means that you can pick up little gigs here and there. You can freelance online, you can freelance offline, and you can make extra money. And some of this income that you can make is pretty good income. And you can, build it up to a full-time income, and which is really, really cool, right? So Dolly is actually one of these ways to do it. And the way that they do this is they are a moving company, okay? The first thing that I want to say is that they are based in the US. So that's the only thing. You have to be based in the States, otherwise you're not going to be able to access their services, but they're available in all of these main countries, main cities, all right, and main towns. So you definitely want to come to Dolly, the Dolly app, download it and check it out before you apply, because otherwise you might be disappointed, because they're not located in every single city or state even in the US, right? They're obviously constantly growing, which is why you need to come to their website and take a look. But essentially what you'll be doing is you will be moving goods, right? So moving stuff, helping people to move furniture, boxes, equipment, things like that. And you can either be what's called a helper or a hand, all right? So if you're a helper, then you need to have a vehicle. So either a pickup truck, an SUV, a van, a lorry, something like that, right? And you can make an average of $50 per hour, which I think is really good, okay? Or you can be a helper where you're just being the muscle, right? You're being the muscle to actually carry the goods, and you're going to be working with a helper to be able to deliver those goods to certain people wherever they want to go, right? And you can make $35 per hour doing that, okay? So again, lifting over 75 pounds of goods. So again, if you're a little bit small or you don't like lifting things, then this is probably not the right gig for you to check out. But if you've got either a vehicle, a truck, a lorry, an SUV, a pickup truck, whatever it is, or you're fine with carrying goods and services, then you can either be a helper or a hand. All right. Now, how much can you make? Okay, so they're very transparent and they pay out really well. We'll talk about that in a second. So $50 per hour, this is on average. You can make more, sometimes you make less, okay? And it's the same for being a hand. You can make a little bit more or a little bit less, but on average, they make $50 to $35 per hour, depending on which role you decide to take on, right? What you do need to take into account is they're not gonna pay for your transportation, right? So if you need to drive a car, right, they're not going to pay for your gas here, okay? If you become a helper and you have a vehicle, and if you're a hand, they're not going to pay for your transport. So you still need to pay for your commute to wherever you need to go. So if you're on a scooter or you take public transport like the train or the bus or a bicycle, they're not going to pay for that. Or maybe you drive a car, they're not going to reimburse you for that, right? They will only pay you for your time. So you need to take that into account and be aware that when you take on a job, it might be in a location where you have to travel to, okay? So that's what you have to do. You do need to take that into account. But on average, the pay is pretty decent, I would say, okay? So the way it works, you jump on their app, you have to find dollies that are nearby, right? Learn about the job requirements, because each job is slightly different, build in your schedule, and then once you do the job, you earn on income, and they pay you out twice per week through PayPal. So you must have a PayPal account. If you don't have a PayPal account, you can sign up for one for free, and they pay through PayPal. I receive a lot of income through PayPal, so I think it's a great way to be paid, and they pay out twice a week, which I think is really, really good, okay? So how do you become a dolly, right? So if you kind of scroll down here, they have a lot of FAQs here where you can figure this out, right? But this is the way that it works. If you want to become a dolly, first of all, you have to apply with your ID. you're gonna have to go through some training. If you have a vehicle, you need the vehicle registration number, and you need active insurance, right? So if you don't have insurance and you want to become a helper, which is the vehicle, you're not going to be able to do that. You need to have active insurance, and then they need to do a background check on you. All right, so it costs $30 for the background check. You have to pay for it. I think that's okay, right? But again, this is up to you whether you want to pay for it. So you do need to be serious before you decide to apply for this. This is not something where you just apply for it and you're like, oh, if I get the job, great. If I don't, it doesn't matter. You need to pay for the background check, and it's non-refundable. So whether you pass the background check or not, you have to pay the $30. So you have to be okay to do that. All right. So just understand that you have to be serious about becoming a Dolly, gig worker before you apply to do this, right? And then once you pass all the background checks, you've been through the training, you paid for it, then you become a Dolly member, and then you can start to work with them. All right, and that's pretty much it. Okay, so overall, I think that Dolly's pretty cool. I think they pay out pretty well, to be honest. The only thing is it really depends on where the gigs are. You see, if you live in a place where there's a lot of gigs for Dolly, so let's just say you live in a big area like New York City, I think that's great, right? Or if you live in, for example, San Jose or Sacramento or Orange County or San Diego, then these are places where there will probably be quite a lot of gigs, right? Because these are big cities in the US. Whereas if you live in smaller, more rural parts, you might not get as many jobs. But generally speaking, they're located in some pretty big spots, right? Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Orlando, Tampa, right? Houston, Dallas, Austin. These are all the big cities in the states that they are available in. So that should be okay, all right? The only thing as well is you need to understand that you're going to have to get to these jobs, and they don't pay you for that. But if you can find a way to get around for cheap, and it makes sense, and you live in a pretty central area within your city, then it might be something that you would want to consider, okay? The only thing that I would say about Dolly is that this is not a remote working job. This is like a hands-on thing, So they provide the app, they provide the jobs, they provide the decent pay, but you're going to have to physically go there and do this kind of work, right? It's not something where you can do it from the comfort of your home, or you're not behind the desk on a computer, freelancing, okay? So that's the only thing that I would say about Dolly. This is a physical, job where you have to be on site doing the physical work. But I think it's pretty cool because it's a gig job. You can do it anytime you want. When you're free, you can turn it on, go do your job, and then come back home and then get paid. I think that's pretty cool, right? But every single job you take on will take a little bit of time, because you have to commute there. You have to do the job, maybe a 1 to 2 hour job, and then you have to commute back. So they don't pay you for when you're not on the clock, right? So that's another thing that you might want to consider, okay? So I think it's pretty cool, honestly. If you want to check it out, you can come to dolly.com/helpers. And this is where you can sign up to become a helper. Again, remember, you have to be based in the US, all right? Now, if you're interested in other jobs, other gig jobs, because listen, we live in a world today where you don't necessarily have to be there, right? There are lots of other gig websites that you can check out. For example, like freelancer.com, you can get freelance jobs, gig jobs from anywhere in the world. Okay, you don't only have to be based in the US, you can be based anywhere in the world, and there are lots of different jobs that you can do. Right? By skill, for example, you can do things like graphic design, website design, SEO, data entry. You can do finance, legal, manufacturing, logistics. You can be a virtual assistant. You can do sales and marketing jobs. There's so many different things. There's another website here called Upwork, right? Upwork is a really, really big one where you can do all sorts of different things like design, admin support. Right? So virtual assistants, data entry, transcription, translation, market research, product reviews, so many things. Writing, you can do content writing, proofreading, sales and marketing, web design if you're a bit more technical, right? Sales and marketing, lots of different things that you can do. So gig economy is huge, and you don't only have to do something physical like Dolly, but I just wanted to give you some options and show you what is actually available out there, all right? But if you're watching this video right now and you're like, well, Aaron, this sounds great, but I'm looking for something that's more full-time and big, but I don't necessarily want to be there physically. I want to work from home and make a big full-time income. If you would like to get my favorite way to get to 5 to 10,000 US dollars per month minimum every single month. And all you need is a computer and an internet connection. You can work from home like me, be in a home office. You don't have to go anywhere physically. You don't have to lift heavy stuff. You don't have to sweat. You don't have to do anything like that. If you want to learn this skill, then I would love to share you that training for free. All you need to do is just click the link below and register for the training. I'll send that directly to your email. Please check your spam folder because sometimes email ends up in spam. Enjoy the training, and I hope you enjoy this review of Dolly. Hope to see you in another review. Take care.